Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. I actually just want to make sure that we are in fact recording. We are in fact recording! I've changed my XSplit settings around quite a bit, and it was just to make sure that my frame rate was not dropping like it was before. Hopefully we get a good solid cast out of this without any technical difficulties, but away we go. This is a match between Soro and the Zerg player Mandolin. Soro, you guys know him, but you don't know that you know him. This is SSNYorosmai on his Smurf account, and I can't remember what his old Smurf name was, but he changed the name of his Smurf to be Soro, and this is SSNYorosmai. If you guys don't know who he is, you should flip back through my old videos and look for Yorosmai, because he's a very talented player. Top of Master League in North America. He's in the Master League in the Korean server as well, so, you know, no small feat. We've been wanting him to be Grandmaster for some time now, but he's been having computer problems and can't actually play competitively right now. Hard drive crashes, and he's playing on a very unstable computer right now, so he takes a lot of losses to like just the computer crashing and crapping out on him, so he can't play competitive right now. We'd love to see him in Grandmaster maybe next season, but anyway, this is going to be an awesome game, and I'm glad I can come back into casting with a game like this. We haven't heard from Yorosmai in quite some time because of the computer difficulties, and I'm excited to see where this game goes. So that being said, this game is in the Master League. Probably the tip-top of Master League. I'm not really specifically sure as to what Mandolin's ranking is. This is Shakura's Plateau, if you guys didn't know, and I really personally enjoy this map. I think it's very well balanced for every race, and you know, I'm a Protoss player, so maybe I could be biased and not know it, but hopefully you guys like this map too, because I really enjoy it. I feel like there's a nice, easy natural for every race to take, and a pretty nice third for every race to take. If you're Zerg and you don't want to expand this way, I mean, this is a really easy creep spread to get to your third, and no rocks to destroy, so Zerg can take a nice fast third, or they can change it up and take this as their third, and it really makes the opponent do some scouting to figure that out. So, and I like all the expansions that are available to everyone, and then these tricky ones that are shared by everyone. By breaking the rocks, you can get in there from any direction. So that's whoever gets them first kind of gets them. We're going to see a fast expansion from Yorosmai. That's a 1 Rax expand, no gas, so we're expecting a lot of Marines, or a factory soon to come. Well, no, there wouldn't be a factory. I lied to you. If there was a factory, there'd be gas already. So it's just going to be lots of Marines out of this. Probably going to see a bunker eventually, just for a little bit of defense. But otherwise, we're seeing a fast expand from Mandolin as well. Quite a bit of drones to be transferred, pulled back to catch the SCV. I'm not really sure why. That kind of a waste of time, I think. Nothing that the SCV didn't already see. He saw the creep down there. He knew there was an expansion. There's nothing to hide, so I don't know why he pulled those drones back. But maybe he wants to hide something soon. So, anyway, kind of going into this game. TVZ has always been a really interesting matchup because both races are so extremely versatile. You have the Terran players going 1-1-1, giving them options in any tech direction, and all it takes is a different add-on to completely throw away what they were building and start building something new. So, you know, if you're thinking Banshees and then all of a sudden there's Vikings, that's a big deal. Those Vikings can still land on the ground and harass mineral lines, but they're also fantastic anti-air. And then the same thing from their ground tech too, their factories. I mean, 1 second you've got Hellions, which are very mobile, light harass units, can be used in drops and just map control in general. And then all of a sudden you've got big heavy Thor coming out of those, which, you know, those are the heavy hitters and great anti-air, and just at the same time, you know, you've got your Zerg player who can, you know, without creating 10 production facilities, can spit out as many tier 3 as they have larva, and it can be ground or air, you know, as long as they've got the tech structure for it. So instant tech switches from both of these races are just massively possible, making for very interesting mind games between the two, and I really enjoy that. So getting a good read on what's going on. A bunch of Lings out here with no speed. That's the big thing that this SCV is seeing right now. We are 6 minutes into the game and seeing speed on the production tab almost finishing. Roach is on the way, and I would say that speed is not really important against Terran early game, especially if you see them fast expand, because you can defend just a small Marine Rush, often expand pretty well with just Spine Crawlers, maybe some Queens, and Lings without speed. And at the same time, Overlords can scout whether there's gas here or not to really get a good read on whether you're going to see Hellions or not. So, in the event that he saw no Hellions, there are Hellions now, but those are late. You know, speed's not important right away, and you know, gives him tons of time. 7-minute mark is a good standard time to get roaches, and a nice little wall off. A couple roaches or a queen or two can plug that hole and prevent any kind of Hellion run-bys. So very nicely done there. A couple units sitting up here to hide or something. I don't know why that's the choice of rally, but looks like everything's headed up there. And 2 Hellions on the map. I don't feel that they can safely do any damage. And like I said, there's the Queen block off right there. And so no Hellions will be getting into there. And just these units sitting here, avoiding any kind of damage from Hellions at the 3rd. No, making it so he doesn't... Oh, he's still going to invest in a Spine Crawler, so interesting decision there. Around the 10-minute mark is when you could expect Banshees from a build like this. Cloaked Banshees, I'm saying. So there's the Starport coming out now. And I would say that the Starport definitely wasn't the focus of this build, as we see a lot of barracks coming down here. So this is going to be kind of a late Starport as far as any kind of Banshee harass would be considered. So I doubt that Banshees are the plan for this Starport. As we do see a reactor on this factory, I'd be interested to know if this is going to be another Hellion producer, or if that reactor is going to go on the Starport to become either harassing Vikings or medevacs. So we'll see where that goes. We're going to see another command center here from Yorosmai and going heavy on the upgrades for infantry. So definitely I'm thinking they're going to be medevacs from this Starport. There you go, the Starport going to land on that reactor. Nice little hot swap there. And on the production tab, are we going to see Vikings or medevacs? And I guess we'll wait and see. But probably medevacs, only because of the sheer amount of bio that we're about to see from Yorosmai. The next thing I'd like to watch for is to see whether this command center is going to be dropped here right away, or if it's going to chill in the base for a while just as an orbital for extra mules and supply drops and things like that, scans, whatever he needs. But yeah, the fact that he's putting it right there makes me think that it's gonna morph into an orbital and fly there right away. So we'll see. He's got a reasonable army that he could use to defend it if he needed to. A couple bunkers and make it pretty resistant. A single Ling here that is going to be spotting for. No, it's gonna be spotting its own death, I think. Anyway, trolling on into this game. Another expansion going down for Mandolin. You know, never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but it wasn't funny. Anyway, so we have a big army coming over here. At least I catch myself before I say something face-pummingly awful. I didn't violate your ears with garbage. And, wow, oh, I was gonna say a cleverly placed Ling that somehow avoided that army, but does get spotted because it was not on hold position. That Ling could have stayed there for a long time if it was on hold position. This army, I don't feel... We'll see, but I don't feel like this army is extremely significant. I feel like, look at this, the Zerg player can spit out a lot of stuff and easily intercept this. But that being said, Yorosmai is a Zerg player, so he should know what's going on. We're seeing some reasonably good micro here from Yorosmai, keeping a lot of that alive. Did I see a medevac load up? No, I didn't. I just saw a lot of infantry die. It kind of looked like a medevac getting loaded up. I mean, I saw the Marines disappear. Anyway, being extremely cost-effective, I'd say, with the bio that he has here, and a good reinforcement wave coming around the backside, trapping these roaches. But I mean, trap is a word for units that are stuck. These ones very much broke out of their cage and fought back. Things in cages don't fight back. But this base has landed, and it is vulnerable to attack now that the bio army for Yorosmai has been pushed back. But I feel like the Zerg player is overextending himself with that, but no, Yorosmai will actually lift off and not engage that. So I don't know. We'll see. I think Yorosmai needs more production at this point. He is stacking on 2 more barracks, so that's good. And I feel like the command center can land now. There it is, down on the ground, and another command center here for Yorosmai. This will be just a macro command center for now, staying in the base. It's got a long distance to fly. If it's going to become an expansion, maybe it will go here in the near future, or maybe it'll just stay there forever. So we do have another push. Yorosmai playing very aggressive here, and a lot of banelings being morphed, but still not a massive army. And as Yorosmai works more marauders into his army, I feel like he has the right equipment to deal the damage he needs. As long as he can, his opponent is a base up on him, he needs to keep the Zerg player on 4 bases for now. If you allow Zerg player to get ahead any farther than that, you start to run into trouble. But 1 base ahead of you is not bad. That's pretty much toe-to-toe. Yorosmai will be able to snipe this, I believe, and still get out. No, he does not get the base. I feel like he could have, but kind of procrastinating when he started that attack. Took a little bit too long for his units to engage that hatchery, and actually using the brush here, very good. Fungal growth now in the Zerg arsenal. Not sure how Yorosmai can pull himself out of this. That was a very cost-effective engagement for the Zerg player with those fungals. Another reinforcing group. We are seeing the medevac count get ridiculous, which is going to make it very difficult to kill future bio, especially as those upgrades stack up. We're seeing the same upgrade count really stack for the Zerg player, but now these infestors are up here alone, and that is not what you want to see as a Zerg player. Losing your infestors, you want to use that energy and get them out of there. As the medevac count grows and the infestor count shrinks, we're seeing this game quickly turn in the favor of the Terran player, going pure bio, extremely cost effective and extremely fast to reproduce. With the support of the growing medevac count, this is becoming a scary army with upgrades. 2-2 now, and from the Zerg player 1-1, 2-2 only now finishing, but 3-3 on the way for the Terran player. Expansions counting up and production increasing as well. This is very quickly snowballing for the Zerg player. But a quick tech switch to Lings instead of Roaches makes the Marauders pretty useless in this situation. Gotta load up into those medevacs and get away. Those Lings are going to be such a nuisance for this army, but reinforcing with a large pack of Marines. These bases, look at the saturation at this base already. This one on its way, and this one kind of just half-assed saturated. No mules there. But this one is easy to defend. You want to make this last as long as possible. So avoiding using mules on an easy to defend base is good. You want to blast through these resources and get them while the base is safe. That's the strategy to mules. If you mine yourself out at an easy to defend base, it's useful to you less, like in the long run. You want it to last as long as possible and quickly get the resources from the bases that you have trouble defending. That should be your mentality for mules. So that's why you should never really mule your main. Try to only, if you're gonna fast expand, try to only mule your natural and even it out. But anyway, we are gonna see a couple Lings. Oh, they're gonna burrow. He wants Yorosmai to forget about those or even waste a scan. So there we go. We are going to see that. Oh, wonderful! Ah, there he goes. So we cleverly building a missile turret. I mean, I guess it's kind of the obvious choice, but doing it quickly, I should say. That's where the clever comes in. Reacting very quickly, making that decision very fast. Building that missile turret to detect any future burrowed units. We are seeing a lot of infestors now. A lot of banelings. Once those fungal growths go down in the bio and the banelings collide, that's going to be an issue. But a couple units, ooh, getting ahead of themselves. We might see an engagement that goes poorly for the Zerg. His Ultralisks are not out yet. There's 6 Ultralisks on the way. Tons of infestors on the field with lots of energy. You can see almost all of those infestors on max energy. I feel like we need some EMPs in this army for Yorosmai. Soro very well spreading out his bio. He is completely stretched out. This engagement could go strongly in the favor of the Zerg player. I don't think there's enough here for Yorosmai. Those Lings are going to be tricky to deal with. He needs the Marauders for the Ultralisks, but Marauders do nothing against the Lings. This is an interesting situation. Sorrow, I think, planning to make these defensive PFs just swallowed by the Zerg army. Not looking good for Yorosmai at all. Look at all these factories down here with switching into Thors. Can he hold on in this situation? Both of these bases being turned into orbitals. Can't figure out the decision making behind that. Cleaning up a small pocket of units here, that is the best way for Yorosmai to deal with this. Lifting off his units here to save the command center, and we'll be picking off small packs of Ultralisks. The Zerg player not handling his army properly here, allowing Yorosmai to pick it off in pockets. Where are the infestors? He needs to lock down these bios so they cannot kite the Ultralisks, using the proxy factories as defensive bunkers, basically packing his units away, making them resistant against the melee units. Brilliant play by Yorosmai, and now pushing forward with his newfound army. If only he had scanned these infestors, he would have, in fact, got a lot of free kills. So will we see the Zerg player pull himself back into this? This is very interesting, because if you do not know, Yorosmai normally plays Zerg. That is his main race. But on the American ladder, he does play random. It allows him to gain a better understanding of all the races and allows him to play as Zerg better. So playing against his best race, he knows the weaknesses. He knows the way to play against them. And I feel like he's doing a pretty good job. Will his opponent be able to pull back in some way, shape, or form? I want everybody to know that I have not watched this game, so I do not know how it ends. And I'm on the edge of my seat, pretty much. I don't know how this is going to go. And a lot of people sometimes get mad at me when I cast my teammates, because you know there is a little bit of bias there. I of course want my teammate to win. But on the other hand, that makes it very un-race biased. I can't be race biased because my teammates don't play the same race as me. Anyway, we're going to see Yorosmai just get swallowed. The macro here for the Zerg player is out of control. 178 supply to 165. It was in the 50s, 150. And look at him with his army spread out. He's trickling in, and you can't fight like that. You absolutely, as a Zerg, need to attack with the entire swarm at once. You are only strong in numbers as a Zerg player, and allowing all his Ultralisks to really get softened. A couple of Yorosmai's reinforcements getting ahead of themselves, allowing for the Zerg to pick off small pockets of them. It's a little bit of miscontrol on both sides. This Ultralisk infestor unit composition is pretty awesome, if I don't say so myself. So many Ultralisks. And they're starting to get into the third and the fourth. They're going to be into the fourth in a few seconds. Yorosmai just trying to scramble together some reinforcements to defend this. Once again, we're going to see Ling stray off and get executed by a bunch of Marines. And these infestors wasting infested Marines. They don't need to spend that energy. This fight was more than taken care of, allowing Yorosmai to slowly build up pockets of units here. Going to drop this base down here and mule the shit out of it, trying to pick off reinforcements. That is the strategy here. Very one-sidedly eliminate any reinforcing army as well. He turtles and eliminates this too. Ling slowly trickling in one at a time, dying before they even make contact with the opponent. So free Lings there. And we have infestors trying to push up onto the high ground. Lots of Ultralisks still. Some of them soft, some of them at full health. And like I said, look at all these mules. Oh my god. We have Bio getting up here into the third base. And that's a big deal, because he's doing the damage that was done to him. Oh, this is going so well for Yorosmai right now. He needs to get those out of there. He's going to get swallowed, but at the very least, he is buying himself time. Kills that third base, which not only delays mining, but really cuts into the production capabilities of the Zerg. You're going to see that this base was not existent, and this base is not existent. Marines blocking the construction of both bases. This is going to come to build, but it's going to get denied. Oh, such a good pickup for Yorosmai. Very good placement. This base goes unscathed, allowing much muling and keeping himself up economically. He needs to replace his production or slowly dry the Zerg out. Look at this. Oh my god. A couple Ultralisks getting ahead of themselves. Once again, fungal growth going down on a small pocket of infantry. That infantry is still fighting back as it is not dead yet. He needs to focus fire down the Ultralisks. That is the only way he can defeat this army, picking off those Ultralisks one at a time, and putting small pockets of his units ahead of themselves so that they can draw in the fungal. And look at this, killing a lot of Ultralisks, being extremely cost-effective with his bio, but great fungal growths from Mandolin. And look at this, going to be able to kite those Ultralisks much farther away than they want to be, and slowly picking off the damaged ones. You can see him focus firing the ones with no health. And those Marauders, man, they're doing their job. A great fungal growth from Mandolin, though, catching too many Yorosmai units. Yorosmai units. Anyway, look at this. Already replaced that ball. We got siege tanks behind the supply depots ready to reinforce. Lifting off this base because he can't afford to lose the orbital commands because they mule new bases. And here we go in engagement, trying to draw in fungal growth, but he's not falling for it. Mandolin drops the fungal growth where it needs to be. Baneling smashing into the Terran Bio. And we will see Yorosmai just pick apart this army so cost effectively with siege tank support. He can handle those Ultralisks, and it looks like those Infestors are not going to get away if the Ultralisks don't turn around to fight, but Yorosmai knows what the important targets are, gets the Infestors, because once the Infestors are done, no more fungal growth can be used, and those Ultralisks can be kite infinitely. We're going to see 2 more command centers go down. He's not even building production, just command centers, just riding off the production that's in his main base. So many command centers, just a mass mule strategy, mining out bases that he barely even owns, and just phenomenal decision making from Yorosmai. This style is incredible. I can't say I've seen it from anyone. I've not seen mule abuse like this in ever. This is pretty freaking cool. Just hanging on by a thread. Gonna land this command center here. And look at him! Just mule the shit out of it! Constantly. It's not even like his macro's bad. He just has so much energy. And look at this bio ball here. It's becoming more than the Zerg player can keep up with. This is looks like his last mining base. Really, this one's almost mined out. This one is mined out. This one is mined out. So he's on 2 bases, trying to take this one, just now getting units to it, and trying to take this one, not even beginning to be saturated. Yorosmai pulling together a ball of units. Siege tanks seem to be used primarily for defense, not really pushing out with those until just now. And, you know, kind of a small ball of units here. Though there is a lot of tier 3 in here, I mean, we're seeing 6 Ultralisks, I believe. There's only 5, so 5 Ultralisks, a couple Infestors, but once those Infestors go down... Oh, we're seeing a load up. Are we going to see a drop here? A couple of units going forward. Oh my god, that was not a cost-effective engagement for the Zerg, losing so many Banelings to just a few Marines. And he's got siege tanks on the high ground! One tank gonna do more than enough damage to... There's no air units! There's nothing to deal with that! Nothing at all! What a great use of siege tanks! Oh, it's so good! And so, wow, Yorosmai gonna completely control this game with those siege tanks, taking out this expansion, and fully able to abuse this cliff in the same way he needs. Oh my god, look, he doesn't even have anything, even if he can see the high ground, he doesn't have anything to shoot at the high ground. So this siege tank going to be indefensive. Like, these Infestors need to throw Infested Terran up there, but they're going to run forward to this bio ball and fungal growth the hell out of it. Siege tanks, just unstoppable up on this high ground, controlling both high grounds, controlling this entire space, making the Zerg unable to defend his own base. Brilliant use of siege tanks, and I mean, we've seen that before in Brood War. It's not a new thing, but just normally the opportunity isn't there. This Zerg player has not covered his bases and is unable to defend that. He has Infested Terran that he could have dumped up there, but I mean, he needed his Infestors up on the front line, but he couldn't get them there. So, what a control play from Yorosmai. Excellent, excellent timing on that. And just an amazing push. We're seeing a brilliant comeback here. And if anybody tells me to take his dick out of my mouth, I will punch you in the throat. But anyway, we're seeing a great engagement here for Yorosmai, as this is a corridor allowing melee units to do very little damage, and these siege tanks are maximizing their damage as every unit is just stuffed into that space. Fungal growth did go down on the bio, preventing them from retreating the way they want to, but still doing a ton of damage. And yeah, unreal. As the Zerg starts to mine himself out here, he's completely mined out here. There's one patch of minerals with 320 existing minerals there, and just this base left here, but now forced to retreat and stop the mining as the Marines and siege tanks will take that out. And this base right here just eliminated by the Terran bio, and the Zerg is pushed back onto nothing as Yorosmai takes this base, this base, this base, and well, every other base on the map with a massive bio ball that can't be contested. One Infestor and one Ultralisk on the way, and it just isn't enough with the ventral sacks and pneumatizing The Carapace, like, such useless upgrades in this situation. Just a ball of Langless. There's nothing the Zerg player can do at this point. I think it's over, guys. But we'll see. Like, I mean, I can't fathom what the Zerg could do right now. I mean, the Zerg needs a Baneling Vortex. He just needs a Baneling Vortex. Moment of silence. I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. 6 Infestors on the way. I think Infestors is a pretty good choice. Like, just massling Infestors, that's all he can do, really. I mean, he needs to land some money fungal growth on this army and manage to take an expansion. That's his only way out of this. If he can get these bases, if he can break out of here somehow. But look, he's now losing all his production. And reasonably good fungal growth, but there was nothing there. That was kind of a baited fungal growth from Yorosmai. Zerg player coming down the ramp to see just how much stuff is there. And the GG from Mandolin Soro taking this game. SSNYorosmai, ladies and gentlemen. Total baller. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this game. Cuckoo-ka-choo.